It being 9 p.m, I propose the question that the House do now adjourn, and I call the honourable member for Hotham.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was very lucky recently at one of our Hotham seniors' morning teas to meet a woman by the name of Darren. She introduced herself to me very briefly and handed me a note about her daughter Robin, letting me know that I could read it when I had time. Madam Speaker, I know what it means when a mother's taken the time to write down concerns she has about her child. That means that there's a young person in need. So I really remembered Darren, and at the first opportunity I took the time to read that note and understand what is happening in the life of her daughter. Madam Speaker, we often think of ourselves in Australia as the lucky country, but as members of Parliament, you and I would regularly meet with people who aren't living up to their full potential and aren't getting the support that they need from others. And Robin, the woman for whom this note was written, has had some experiences recently that really made me reflect on what a long way we have to go to help some Australians get the opportunities they deserve. Robin is a very energetic young woman. She's artistically talented and she's ready and willing to contribute to the community in any way she can. She's 32 years old, just a little bit younger than me, and she was born with Down syndrome. Robin was born with a disability, but she's an articulate and capable young woman, and in her 30s she should really be at the beginning of the peak of her working life. In 2011, with the support of a disability employment service, Robin began supported employment at a McDonald's restaurant in Melbourne CBD. She loved the work she was doing. She was working 3 days a week, having a great time being part of a team. But after 18 months, and with what appears to be very little warning, she was made redundant. She was provided another employment opportunity at a Hungry Jack's, but again soon after was made redundant again. And Madam Speaker, the story that I heard from there was really about a young woman who was being passed from provider to provider and who has had her arrangements chopped and changed. And I think it's a story of a family who are very frustrated that their daughter wants to make a contribution, but she isn't being given the support that she needs to do that. In Darren's own words, we've done everything in our power to ensure that she lives a worthwhile life in the wider community. And Speaker, Robin does live a really worthwhile life. She lives alone, she cares for herself, and like any person her age or my age, she has hobbies, she has interests and she has dreams. Madam Speaker, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, almost half of all working-age people in Australia with a disability today are not in the labour force. That means they're not looking for work, and they're also not employed. And there are many other statistics that I could furnish, but what is really concerning is that when we look at how Australia ranks compared to other OECD countries, we see that we're performing about 21 out of 29 OECD countries for employment participation for people with a disability. 21 out of 29, I think that's a pretty disturbing figure, and anyone in this House would be moved to think that we need to do something differently. In addition, we know that almost half of those in Australia with a disability are living at or below the poverty line. Speaker, I definitely don't want to politicise this issue because I think it's an area where both sides of the House have at least spoken about their commitment. But I do want to say that I think the rhetoric that we have had with some of the welfare debates we've had recently in this House about, kind of cracking down on welfare cheats and these sorts of things, it really actually gets the situation wrong for many people, because I know there are a lot of people out there in Australia, just like Robin, who have a disability but they really want to work, but they just need the right support. And Robin's story was a really good reminder for me that we just have a long way to go before employers and agencies and governments around this nation really understand what good, effective support looks like and how we can provide it. Madam Speaker, all of us in this House know that employment participation is not just about money and it's not just about having a job. It's a critical way that Australians engage in everyday life. It's about having independence, having the opportunity to socialise, and having the belief and the knowledge that you are making a real contribution to the community that you live in. Labor believes that one of the best ways that we can help people get to feel this way is to help people with disability find and keep work. And that's one reason, Madam Speaker, why we created the National Disability Insurance Scheme. And it's something that I'm incredibly proud of, and we know that the NDIS will take us some way to helping people with disability be the ones in control. They'll help determine what support they need, and they'll have the resources that they can marshal to make it happen. But it can't come fast enough, Madam Speaker. Already people like Robin have waited many years. Speaker, I applaud people like Robin Doherty. She isn't afraid to give things a go, and she has so much more to offer. I want to thank her for raising this matter with me. I want to encourage the family to keep in touch, and I offer any support I can provide to Robin in her future endeavours. Thank you.